Tennessee Titans fans, I'm headed back from vacation right now, getting ready to get back into the office as the Titans are getting ready to get back to work. And I'm just thinking about the news that came down yesterday about Brian Daboll being fired as the New York Giants head coach. Thinking about what that means for the Titans, if anything. And I do think it means something for the Titans. It means a few things for the Titans. I'm going to go through those. First of all, just pay attention, please, to the media coverage of the New York Giants firing Brian Daboll, and compare it and contrast it with the media coverage of the Titans firing Brian Callahan. Because when the Titans fired Brian Callahan, it was like, oh, they've committed a crime. They've committed an egregious sin, having to fire the head coach in the middle of Cam Ward's rookie year. Oh, the irresponsibility. Now, listen, I understand firing a head coach in the middle of a rookie quarterback's first season. I understand that's not ideal. That's not what you want for the Giants or the Titans. But it's just like, I don't see nearly the vitriol toward the Giants as I did toward the Titans. It's just kind of convenient how that happens, how people pick and choose what organizations they're going to be mad at for doing such a thing as that. Again, I know it's not a good position to be in for anybody, but it happens a lot. And for some reason, when it happened to the Titans, it was like, oh, they're terrorists. Anyway, so that's the first thing. Just get that out of the way first. Please, just take note of the media coverage of Brian Daboll versus Brian Callahan. The second thing, officially, the Titans are no longer the most attractive head coaching job for this upcoming offseason. We knew that wouldn't last. I mean, as more firings happen, and especially once the season ends and more people get fired, yeah, there are going to be more jobs that are more attractive than the Titans job. I mean, the Giants, obviously, that's New York. New York compared to Tennessee, much bigger market. And probably, I mean, I would say the ownership situation with Tennessee always firing people, the dysfunction, which I'm not going to act like the Giants are just the image of stability, but, you know, they have more stability than the Titans. At least they're perceived as having more stability than the Titans right now. So the Giants' job does look more appealing. They've got a lot of cap space to work with as well. They're probably going to have a high draft pick as well, and they're New York. So that job is going to be more attractive, and there will probably be other jobs that open up. And I'm sorry if this is bumpy. We're on a bumpy road, but there will be other jobs that come along that will, on paper, be more attractive than the Titans. It will be interesting to see how that shakes out, what kind of guy the Giants, for example, will be looking for as opposed to the Titans. We know that Mike McCarthy has been mentioned with the Titans a lot. Are the Giants going to be looking for a guy like that as well? They made Mike Kafka their interim head coach for the rest of this season, and that's interesting because that was a guy that people have talked about for head coaching vacancies in years past and even this upcoming offseason. If he does a good job, will the Giants be interested in just sticking with him? Who knows? But yeah, that job is more attractive than the Titans, and there will probably be other job openings that are more attractive than the Titans. It will be interesting to see how that all shakes out. It comes down to what kind of coach those teams are looking for versus what kind of coach we're looking for. You know, that could create some problems for the Titans. And also, I wanted to talk about this as well. A lot of people say the Titans should go after Brian Daboll to be their next head coach, that he should be considered as a possibility. Just got fired by the Giants, and a lot of people think that, you know, he can coach and the Titans should go get him. I mean, okay, I don't know. I mean, you're talking about a guy who, yes, helped lead the Giants to the playoffs with Daniel Jones. I know Daniel Jones is playing well in Indianapolis right now, but the Giants version of Daniel Jones was not ever really good. But Brian Daboll managed to get to the playoffs with that Daniel Jones. Again, as I said earlier, I don't think the Giants are just the image of stability. And so Brian Daboll hasn't had the best ownership himself to work with or the best roster. I just wonder if he would even be willing to leave one mess to go to another perceived mess. That's the first problem here. Okay, you're going to leave the instability that is the New York Giants to go to the instability that is the Tennessee Titans. Tough sell for the Titans on Brian Daboll. And second of all, I'm not driving, by the way. My wonderful wife is driving as I record this, but it's a bumpy road, so sorry. But my question is that the guy that you want? I don't know. I think Brian Daboll's a fine coach. I think that the issues in New York were not really on him. Sure, I mean, if you want to make that move, if you want to interview him at least, consider him as the next head coach of the Tennessee Titans. I mean, sure. I don't know if he'd want the job, but sure. I would be more interested in talking to him about being the offensive coordinator, because we're going to be looking for new everything on the coaching staff this offseason. So I'd be looking at him as offensive coordinator, even if you hire somebody else to be the head coach. Brian Daboll as offensive coordinator, that's a new name that you can throw in. I didn't know if the Giants would fire Brian Daboll, but now that he is, yeah, you have to throw his name in the hat in terms of offensive coordinator, maybe head coach, if you're interested in that. And now going forward, we'll look and see who else fires their head coach. Because there are a lot of other, the Miami Dolphins with Mike McDaniel, I know they looked a lot better this weekend, but odds are he's probably out there. Zach Taylor in Cincinnati, maybe. Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland, now that's a guy you need to bring in if he gets fired. NFC-wise, maybe the Cardinals coach, they might fire him. So these might be the other teams looking and comparing those situations to the Titans. I've talked about some of the things that make the Titans coaching job appealing. You've got a young quarterback in Cam Ward, got a lot of cap space. You got a roster that's being completely rebuilt. You got a high draft pick, maybe even the number 1 overall pick again. There are some things that make the job appealing, but some of these other jobs that come open, what will they have to offer that we can't? It'll be interesting. And as far as bringing in coaches from those, I know Mike McDaniel as a potential offensive coordinator could be good. Kevin Stefanski, if Cleveland lets him go, which I think would be dumb on their part, would love to bring him in. And I'll just throw it out there. In the case of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I've said this before, I'll say it again. If they're not happy with where they are and they fire Mike Tomlin, give him a blank check and let him write an amount there that he wants. And people are talking about the Packers possibly getting rid of Matt LaFleur because they've dropped a couple of games. By all means, if Matt LaFleur comes available, write a blank check. Let him put in the amount he wants, because that would be a slam dunk hire as well. Lots of news in all of the
half a mile at the traffic circle. Take the second exit onto Tennessee 68.
One of those things that whenever a team fires their head coach, now if you're the Titans, you got to pay attention. Because we've already fired ours, and we got to see who the competition is in terms of coaches, and we got to see if these people are getting rid of any coaches we want. I'll be back in the office for the rest of this week. Titans are back in action. The bye week is over. That means the Titans will be playing. Yay! Can't wait to watch them. Tighten up, everybody.